What's up, YouTube? This is Talking Crazy 80. Back again with another live stream on the balcony on this Friday evening. Cigar of the weekend is you probably can't see it, but it's a AJ Fernandez blue label. Not really too big fan of it. I like the draw of it. Toasted oak. Got my young whiskey right here. I'm just going to be sipping on a little whiskey and just smoking a cigar and enjoying this beautiful evening. How's everybody doing on this beautiful evening? Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm not going to keep y'all too long. It's just been a wild week this week. It's been a wild week. First, it was September 11th, just passed. 25 years. I can't believe it's almost been 24 years, 5 years, almost half a century, a quarter of a century has passed since that fateful day. I don't know where y'all were, but I was at work in East Harlem, in West Harlem, working for a lame ass company which I couldn't wait to get fired from so I can go ahead and get unemployment so I can go on with life. God, I hate that job. But the ironically is that I should be grateful because that job actually saved my life. Because on August 10th, 2001, I was working at Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. At that time, they just changed the name of Morgan Stanley. And I was working in Building 5 of the World Trade Center. And I left that job to take a job here with another company. I'm not going to name it. But that didn't work out well. But 2 weeks after September 11th, I got let go and been on unemployment. Happily on unemployment. By then, I knew I should have just got my CDL and got a trade so I can continue working. Because the office job was not for me. Working in an office behind the desk, with chatty patties is not for me. It never was for me. I should have been an engineer or going into construction or engineering where I'm out in the field all the damn time. Instead of trying to go into finance. See, people, when you go into finance, you should go into finance for yourself, so you can learn the game for yourself, how the financial markets work for yourself. See, back then there was no stash, there was no Robinhood, there was none of these brokerage accounts where you could just trade on a 24-hour basis, all from your cell phone. Technology wasn't popping like that at that time. But, I don't have any regrets for my life. I don't really have regrets. That was the path that led me to have my own property, have my own business, and also have a job, and also have a consultant, doing consulting work as well. So I'm somewhat busy, but I'm not busy. I want to be busy, and I've earned it at 51 years old. But getting back to September 11th, that was a rough time for the country. That was a rough time for everybody else. That's when we started the whole 20-year war with Afghanistan and Iraq. which we still are at war as we speak. So some of y'all 18, 19-year-olds that are enlisting in the military, just be prepared that you're still going to go out in war, to fight a war that it's never really going to end. But, you know, that's September 11th, and God bless everybody. God bless the families of the victims, and a lot of the family members who are children at that time. They're grown adults as well, living their own lives. So the legacy still lives on. You know, and I do remember that day very vividly, where after the attack, we started seeing people, families, which is ironic, the family members of the victim, putting up missing person contact information. You used to see that all around New York, Manhattan, Times Square, Times Square and Central Station. I never remember I was walking in the Grand Central Station. I was seeing missing persons posters for the victims of the World Trade Center attack. And it kind of hit home. At that time, it kind of hit home. And I was buck wild back then. I said a lot of things that I somewhat regret, and I don't regret. But you know, I said some things about the Iraqi and Afghani people, that somebody should just go after these goat herders and shit. Yeah, you know. It was funny at the time, but not so much knowing that the more I learned about the politics behind what happened, we begin to learn more and more that, you know, maybe it wasn't just the Afghanis, it wasn't just the Taliban, it wasn't just the Iraqis, maybe it was just the United States and multiple other countries working together to get rid of those towers for some strange reason. It never really has been explained. But I'm not going to talk too much about it. You know, as time marches on, we're going to learn more and more about what really happened that day. Because with the exception of YouTube and the internet, you're not going to find too many news clips of planes crashing into these buildings. And I remember that evening, it was just on repeat, the plane just boom, boom. 24-hour news cycle. It was 24 hours of news coverage on every damn channel. You know, and ever since that day, things have never been normal ever since. I'm just saying. Life has gotten more and more weirder in this country and in government. Politics on my channel. So, what I'm going to talk about right now is the events of what happened this week, in the last 2 weeks, is that in Charlotte, North Carolina, there was a crazy motherfucker on a train who stabbed a Ukrainian woman right in the neck for no goddamn reason. Because he's just a crazy motherfucker. Now, when everybody was talking about Daniel Penny And I never really talked about that, how he choked out that homeless guy, that black homeless guy on a train because he was acting a fool on the New York City subway, and he stepped in and deleted this man's life. Now, say what you want, white man killing a black man, but this black man was a crazy motherfucker that was unproductive and useless to society. He should have been in a mental institution or behind bars, but for some reason the government loves to have these crazy motherfuckers roaming the streets among normal people. Hence, Ronald Reagan cutting off federal funding for these mental institutions to keep these people off the street. And the crazy has gone down to different cities, especially down in Florida, Charlotte, even Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Well, you gotta have your head on the swivel. And I saw that video. And I saw that video of that young woman who did not even realize or know whether or not her life was going to end that moment. And there was no reason for it. And it's not that I'm caping for the white supremacists or anything, or being conservative, talking crazy as being a conservative or in that conservative group, because I'm not. Trust me on that. I don't really give a fuck about white folks. I don't give a fuck about crazy ass black folks either. I don't give a fuck about none of y'all. Okay? Because if it was up to me, I would live on 20 acres of land, all by myself. No neighbors around, no people around. And if I want to interact with people, I would just drive right into the city, go to the bar, watch a game, and bring my happy ass back home to my land. And if you'll follow me to my house, I got a 22 and a 45. You follow me to my house and try to do harm to me, I have a 45. Just keep in mind, I have a 40 and a 22, which I am trained to use. So come on, and oh yeah, and your face will be on a missing persons poster, fucking around with me. No trespassing. Trespassers will be shot on sight. That's what I'm working for. I don't want to spend another day with none of y'all people. Because y'all all are crazy. Alright? And I'm not talking about the ones that they get up in the morning, go to work every day, and mind their damn business. Okay? I leave you alone, you leave me alone, we're good. You have your political leanings, I have mine. Cool. I never talk about my political leanings on any platform. In my personal life, I never talk about it. I rarely talk about it amongst my family. And I'm not going to talk about it here on this channel, because I don't believe in talking politics or personal. If you don't know who your local councilman is, or your congressman, if you don't know who your mayor of your city is, well, we shouldn't be talking about politics. All politics should be local, right? It should be in your community. It should be what's going on around in your neighborhood. What can be fixed in your neighborhood? What kind of resources that need to be in your neighborhood? That's what y'all should be fighting for. All this other mumbo jumbo bull jive, I ain't gonna talk about that. Fuck y'all. But I'll say this about the family And about that young lady, I'll be praying for her, just like I'm praying for that crazy motherfucker. And hopefully he'll spend the rest of his life in prison, which he will. When you murder a white woman like that, when you murder a white woman, oh, you're going to be in prison for the rest of your life. Trust me. The white supremacists got you, motherfucker, crazy ass motherfucker. It ain't a damn thing I'm going to do about it. I ain't going to speak out about it. I saw the damn video. There's no justification for that, except for being crazy. And I'm not a white, and I'm not an apologist, or a white woman apologist, or a white man apologist for white folks. Because like I said before, I don't give a fuck about them. Nor do I give a fuck about crazy ass black folks. Okay? Like I said, especially the black folks, I seen those body cam videos. There are some crazy, these motherfuckers that show up on these body cam videos are some crazy ass motherfuckers. Mentally ill. Not wrapped too tight, a bottle short of a six-pack. And these are the people, without the body cam, these are the people, when the police whoop your ass, all right, these are the people we come to their defense. We go out and march in the streets for this bullshit. I know it's bullshit. Anytime that you encounter a police officer or police, I know back then it was a wild card because I could have got caught up. But I was taught, look, a police officer that pulls you over, he's going to talk crazy to you. You got to maintain your composure, control over your emotions, and the license, registration, and insurance. And that's the key that I noticed on all these body cams when they get caught, pulled over. I don't have my license. I don't have my registration. I don't have my insurance. You don't have your license. What the fuck? You're supposed to have your license on you, man. It's in the rules. It's in when you read the damn driver's manual. That's part of the rules of getting a driver's license. You gotta have it on you all the time while you're driving because it's not a right. Driving is not a right. So go ahead and listen to these motherfuckers, these sovereign citizen, Morris Temple, bullshit, bull jive officers telling you, these bull jive people telling you, driving is all right. Driving, you have the right to travel. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Go ahead and pull that bullshit. And you up there telling me I'm not getting out of the car. The officer telling you, it don't need to be no Pennsylvania versus Mims for an officer to have the right to pull you out of the car. If they tell you to get the fuck out of the car, get the fuck out of the car. Get the fuck out of the car. I'm not saying make their job easier. No, you should always make that job. You should always make these lazy, dumbass cops' job a little bit harder than what it is. But you gotta know what you're doing. You gotta know how to talk to these people. You don't even know the law. Remember, I told y'all last week, a couple of weeks ago on the Balcony Chronicles, everybody should have an attorney on deck, on retainer. You should have a criminal attorney on retainer. If you're doing business, you should have a business attorney. If you're into real estate, you should have a real estate attorney on deck. Because their tenants will try to sue your ass. They will try to get over on you and sue your behind. So you should always have an attorney on deck. And if you're driving around, you should always have an attorney that specializes in traffic court. So if you get a ticket, just take it to your attorney. Let them decide what they want to do. Tell them the story. If you have a dash cam, especially if you have a dash cam, what do you call it? Primo. Give that to your attorney. Don't say shit to these dumbass cops. Because you know what? If you talk to them, if you start answering questions regarding the traffic stop, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna use it against you in court, you dumb motherfucker. You tell them shit. Remember the old saying, when you get captured behind enemy lines, you give them your name, rank, and serial number. That's what they tell you in the military. Just give them your name, rank, and serial number, and say nothing else. When you start off by saying, I don't answer questions. You know how fast you're going, sir? I don't answer any questions. Where you drinking tonight? I don't answer any questions, sir. Where you coming from? I don't answer any questions, sir. Because you don't know why that officer is asking you where you're coming from. They want to know because there may have been a crime in that area, and you may have fit the description, the car vehicle description. Now, if the officer is being upfront with you, and you can verify it and dispel the suspicions, go ahead and talk to them. You can go ahead and talk. Just be very careful. But see, you should always have an attorney on deck. And if the officer escalated, don't say, let me call my attorney. Your attorney is going to charge you more money. Dumb motherfucker. For getting on the phone and talking to the attorney while you're on the traffic stop. What is he going to do? He ain't going to do shit. But anyway, let's get back to crazy motherfucker. My heart and my prayers go out to both the crazy nigger and the family of the Ukrainian girl that got unalived. It's tragic in itself, but from what I'm reading about this crazy nigga, is he was on no cash bail, and I think they should repeal the no cash bail, bring it back to cash bail. Because if he was in prison awaiting bail, that one would probably still have been alive right now. See, ever since Black Lives Matter and George Floyd and that brother that was in Rikers for almost 3 years, I forgot his name. His name slips my mind, but it'll come back. He was in Rikers Island, a teenager, for 3 years awaiting trial. And none of the family members can come up with the money to bail him out, or wanted to bail. I think they just didn't want to bail him out. Either they didn't want to bail him out, or the justice system, or he just got lost in the justice system, which happens. Because once you're in the system, they don't give a fuck about you. Black man, black woman. They don't give a fuck about you. And they put you on probation. They make more money while you're on probation. You know, rather than have you sitting rotting in prison, rotting in a jail cell or in prison. lastly, let me go ahead and talk about a little bit about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. Now, I don't know much about this man. I don't know anything about him, to be honest with you. All right. I know a lot of black folks that said some greasy stuff about him, about not being nonchalant about it. And I'm not being nonchalant about it either. I just don't know the guy. I don't know who he is, what he does, what. I know nothing about his political leaning. All right. But to be assassinated like that, and I gotta look at things through my third eye. All right. To be assassinated, for somebody to come out and just assassinate somebody that to me is a nobody because he's on YouTube. I never really heard of the guy. I know he's running around with the MAGA crowd and a Trump supporter. I don't know. I mean, it's getting crazy out there where you get assassinated for speaking your mind in this country. You may have said some things I don't agree with. A lot of people have said some things that I don't agree with, but I don't pick up a gun and shoot them in the head. So there's a lot going on besides what he said, his political leanings and what he said in the general public that turned a lot of people off. I think there's a lot more to this story. Could be a hit, possibly. Could be a lone gunman, possibly. Could be just a crazy motherfucker with a gun who happens to be white, who wanted to take him out. Just like that brother who took out that white woman on a train. See, there's crazy in all races, so let's not get it twisted. When you're in this country, you're going to be walking among people who are mentally ill. Okay? So I don't like none of y'all. I don't give a fuck about none. And there ain't going to be no damn. Let me go ahead and touch on Trump sending out the National Guard to Chicago, and these young niggas talking hella shit. What they gonna do if Trump sends the National Guard out to Chicago? Now, it's gonna happen, people. Trump is gonna send some people over there to handle shit, whether you like it or not. And you can go ahead and fight back if you want to. But I'll say this, the citizens versus the U.S. government, the U.S. government is undefeated for now. And black folks, I don't think you have the weapons or the resources to take on the U.S. government. So I think you better be cool, be quiet, let Trump do what he needs to do. So you can go on about it. When his presidency is over, things can go back to normal. So I don't know what's going on out in Chicago, nor do I care because I don't live there. I live in New York, and I only care about what goes on in New York. All right? I care what happens here when I'm in New York or in my second home. I don't care about what goes on in New York. I don't care about what goes on in Chicago, LA, Philadelphia. Because if the hardworking citizens, and I've been listening to WVON for years, Even the citizens are saying, well, let's bring in the National Guard to handle all this bull job that's going on in Chicago. The taxpayers of Chicago, the people who pay tax, go to work and pay bills, care about what goes on in Chicago. They have a voice. Young niggas don't have a voice. The urban terrorists, the nappy-headed urban terrorists, do not have a voice. They should not have a voice. So go ahead, tell them what you're not going to do. And I want to see how that plays out. I can't wait to see how this plays out. I'm looking forward to it. I'm just gonna be on my balcony with my cigar in my mouth, watching this shit. All right. Let me see how many people are on here. Arabella, hi. Box Go. What's up, player? How you doing? Good to see all of y'all on the chat. All right. Well, like I said before, the citizens of Chicago need to handle this a long time ago. And you got that punk-ass mayor, Brandon Johnson. Y'all elected this guy. It was a sympathetic to the city, who had more sympathy for illegal immigrants that are settled in a sanctuary city. Had more sympathy than most of the black residents, the hard-working, tax-paying residents in Chicago. So if Trump wants to send in the National Guard, I can give two fucks about it. I just wanted to reiterate. Because what was going on in Chicago should have been handled years ago. But I don't know how effective it was in D.C. But we'll find out what's going to happen when it goes down to Chicago. And keep in mind, these are all black. These are all Democratic, black-led cities. There's a lot of mayors here in these majority black cities. Who happens to be Democrat. Full of shit. They're all full of shit. Shit. How come shit like this doesn't happen in Boston? Okay? Boston, Massachusetts. Or Omaha, Nebraska. Hell, even not even New Orleans, because you got a crazy, y'all are like the crazy bitch down there. Who should be out of office down in New Orleans. So, well, that's all I got to say about that, except what's going on in my personal life. Man, I got in contact with a young lady who was married, who told me that she wants to be in an open marriage. And she picked me as being one of her partners. So I'll let y'all know how that turns out. Listen, let me go ahead and finish watching some college football tonight. And I'll get back to you. I'm probably going to do a Balcony Chronicles tomorrow. I don't know. Well, I don't know. It depends on how I feel. All right. Well, listen. Let me get on out of here. This is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black men, let's be careful out there. All right.